Chris from Archangel Self-Defense. Now, there has been a lot in the media about attempted kidnappings lately, and not surprisingly, I have had a lot of concerned parents contact me. Now, there's not any magic pill I can give your kid or some super secret technique that I can teach them that they can beat up any attacker, but they don't need to. They just need to be a hard target. And like most criminals, any kidnapper is not looking for a challenge. They're not looking for a wrestling match. They just want someone to comply with them, to give them what they want, and they want to get away without being caught. So, I've come up with 3 things for this video that you can give to your kids that will keep them safe from an attempted abduction. The first one is communication. So you can tell your kids what's going on, not scare them, but give them the facts. And you can communicate with them about your schedule, their schedule. So no one should be showing up at school and saying, "Hey, your mom sent me to pick you up." They should know exactly what's going on. And even acquaintances, relatives, should not be picking your kids up without notice, because it is very, very rare that a stranger actually abducts a child. It is more oftentimes an acquaintance. The second thing that you can do is you can teach them to get attention. Now, we usually don't want our kids screaming and yelling, but screaming and yelling is the most important thing to prevent abduction. They want to draw a lot of attention to themselves, a lot of attention to their situation. And you may have heard the myth that you want to teach your kids to yell fire instead of help. Well, I mean, if we think about that for even a little bit, yelling fire could clear an area, and yelling help is absolutely fine. Be descriptive as possible. Don't just scream, because we hear kids scream all the time, but scream for help. If there's another adult around, especially if they look like they are a parent or someone in uniform, get that person's attention. But you do not want to be isolated and quiet, because that is when it is the most dangerous. The third thing you can do is tell them that it's okay to always resist. Give them permission, because we tell our kids things like, be quiet, don't hit, don't kick, don't bite, don't be rude. When in this case, we want that. We want them to not approach a stranger's car to give them directions. An adult should never be asking for help from a child. It's completely inappropriate. So no one should ever ask your kids for direction. And it is okay to ignore that, to be rude, to run away from that. And then, of course, we want them to not be an easy target. So no matter what, no matter if they're threatened with a gun, whether they're threatened with a knife, whether someone is pulling them by the hand, we want to teach them to resist, to run away, to fight back, to kick in areas like the groin, to hit for the throat, the eyes, the nose. Vulnerable places that we'd normally say you don't hit someone there. We want them to know that this is okay. But it's never okay to get in that car with a stranger. And even an acquaintance, you know, there's an appropriateness in the situation where if you say, hey, your uncle's coming to pick you up today, or you call the school that your kid goes to, their uncle's on their way to pick them up, and hopefully have that kid given a heads up. But if it's just out of place, if your kid's teacher says, hey, you know what, get in my car, I can give you a ride home. Well, we know that's not a situation that should be happening. And if someone comes out of the blue to your kid's school, that's not a situation that should be happening. So we want to teach your kids to be a hard target. They're not going to beat up an adult that is possibly trying to abduct them, but the good news is they don't have to.